Hey everybody, this is Kit Maher.
And Alex Parnicki.
We're here with MassLive on the Best of Mass barbecue search, and we made it to Sturbridge, where we're going to talk to Brian, the owner of B.T.s Smokehouse, which is pretty much busy at all hours of the day. We had trouble finding a parking spot getting in here, so we're going to learn about Brian's process of smoking barbecue, try his ribs, brisket, and pulled pork. So everyone say hello. Brian.
How's it going, y'all?
Hey everyone.
All right, so Brian, you started out of this trailer here behind you, so why don't you tell us about how you got your start and how that kind of evolved into your storefront you have today?
Well, this trailer here was a concession trailer that I started at the Brimfield Antique Show, and then I moved here in the end of 2009, beginning of 2010, when the space opened up. And it was originally just supposed to be a hobby, do something for fun at the antique show, and it went really well, and decided to just make it a real thing. We moved in here and we've expanded twice since then. We started originally with 16 seats, and now we have 38, but a lot of times it's standing room only.
That's awesome. Could you show us around a little bit of the trailer?
Yeah, well, so this trailer, this is the smoker that we used. It's an old oil tank that was sitting and we burnt it out. And the back side of it, there's a concession window that opens up. And so inside I have warmers and refrigerators, and right now it's being used for storage. Otherwise I'd take you inside. But
oh yeah, no worries.
Yeah. And then while we're out here, I can show you these real quick.
Yeah.
Awesome. Get behind the scenes look.
Wow.
But so these are two JNR Oiler pits that came up from Mesquite, Texas. They each hold about 1,800 pounds of meat at a time. And then this is a Southern Pride smoker.
Right over there?
Yep. And so that one holds about 750 pounds.
That's the real deal.
You want to see this real quick? So
Yeah.
Sure.
this is our the hickory wood that we use. Comes from local farms around here. Local loggers bring it to us. This is our firebox, and we like to tell people that this fire really hasn't gone out in 10 years because we cook 24/7 and just throw live wood on the coals to get it back going.
So about what time do you guys come out? Like, what time do you come and start smoking?
So the meat for tomorrow, it will go into the smoker. The butts will go in around 10 o'clock tonight. The brisket will go in between 5 and 6. We keep this fire going until 11 o'clock tonight, and at 11 o'clock we load that up. And by the time we come back at 8 in the morning, it's down to just coals, but it's still hot, and we just fill it back up with wood.
Yeah.
That's great.
Tell us a little bit about the lines that you see on the weekend rush, and then about the exit, your strategic location here.
Yeah, so we're located at the exit of 84 and 90 on the Mass Pike. It's exit 9 in Sturbridge, and it's the most heavily used exit on the Route 90 between here and Seattle. On a good weekend, we serve about 12 to 1,500 people. On a Saturday, you have a line that goes from the door or from the cash register all the way around our brisket bar and out the side door and then into our parking lot. And it's about an hour wait to get to order, and then we try to get the food to you within like 15-20 minutes.
But you never shy customers away if everyone will get fed if they wait.
Everyone will get fed if they wait, and there's always a table by the time that you get your food. We have a problem sometimes with people just sitting down to save tables, but really the way that things work, we turn over every seat every 17 minutes on a busy day. And so by the time you get your food, there's always a seat available.
Awesome. And you were talking too about how being close to the exit, there's a lot of people from everywhere around town that come.
Yeah. So like right now there's, I see Connecticut.
Yeah, let's check back in
Yeah.
the
That's, Vermont.
in the parking
Connecticut,
lot.
Vermont, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York. There's a car around the corner that just pulled in from Texas.
Yep.
So we're just right off Route 90 here, talking a little bit about the strategic placement of the exit. Got lots of different license plates in here. See a couple New York, New Jersey. It's not all just Mass.
It's not all just Mass, and it's really, we've become a favorite stopping ground for people that are traveling through New England, because we're strategically placed on 84. So anybody coming up out of New York area through Connecticut to get to Boston, they can stop here on their way through.
Awesome.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your history with barbecue and how you kind of came up to it and started this whole thing?
Well, originally it was just a hobby. I used to do backyard smoking with friends. When I was in Napa Valley, I bought a little smoker, and my winemaker friends would come by with barrel stays, and we'd smoke a pork butt or a tri-tip.
Oh, wow.
And then when I moved out here, I was living here in Brimfield but working in Boston, and I wanted to do something at the antique show, so I thought, oh, I'll do barbecue. And so we built this trailer from scratch, and I bought some brisket and just kind of went.
Okay, great.
So, yeah.
And as we were talking about a little earlier, you have a background in the fine dining scene. Can you
Yep.
tell us about the transition you believe is happening between the accessibility of fine dining versus these local, quick, and
Yep.
great tasting food places?
Yeah, so I really believe that fine dining is going by the wayside, and looking at some of the great restaurants that have closed or are closing, and what the owners have transitioned into. So, like looking at a restaurant like Clio in Boston, and Ken Oranger and what he's done with making Toro really work, and Uni, and then Ming Tsai with Blue Ginger, and it doesn't exist anymore, but Blue Dragon is doing really well. And it's these more accessible, smaller plate, quicker dining kind of places where you're not walking in and spending $200 for a couple of you to go out and eat, but you can go get fed and be satisfied and try a bunch of different things for lower prices and have a much different experience. And so these quick service kind of places are really taking off, I think.
So you told us all about your restaurant and how you came up and how the food is prepared. Why don't you show us a little bit?
Yeah,
We can
come
go
on
in
in.
quick, look through the dining area and go through the kitchen.
Already pretty busy.
Yeah. We did most of this outside because it's so busy that it was so loud we couldn't hear ourselves talk. So
Yeah, here we go.
no shortage of customers.
Thanks.
So if you ask any of my staff right now, they would say this is slow for us.
This is slow. All right.
Almost every table is full out from here. So.
Yeah, it's great.
We have a vegetarian staff member who commented she wished that you guys did smoked tofu.
We do sometimes,
all
yeah.
right.
So we've done it on occasion. We did it for a while. I did it as a prank a little bit around April Fool's this year, saying that we were going vegan and that we smoked a bunch of tofu.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, so
Yeah, tell us a little bit about the process here. So
Yeah.
I know we got the rules of the line.
yeah, so you'd come up here, stand up here, and someone standing here at the counter would take your order. And we take your name. You're not a number here. We take your name, and we call you by name when your order's ready. It was really important for us to make. That's how we get a lot of our customers. We know people by name as they keep coming back, and we take their name, and it's on every one of the tickets, so everybody in the restaurant knows who's getting that food. And it was really important for me that was people's experience as they came in. So we take your order, and then we have some cold stuff up in this deli case. We have some hot sides and pulled pork that our staff grabs for you, and then we have a cooking line where things that get prepared to order are cooked. So we do our mac and cheese to order. We do some of our sandwiches, burgers, everything out of the fryer to order, and then all of our barbecue meats come off of here also. So
Tell us a little bit about favorites that customers have, whether it's sides or meals. So we know you're really well known for your brisket.
yeah, brisket. So one of the best sandwiches you'll ever eat is our brisket Reuben. It's a brown bread. It's a brown honey wheat. We make this sauce that I call a pickled rye sauce. It's my version of a Thousand Island. Then it's our brisket, Swiss cheese, and our coleslaw on a sandwich that's all toasted and loved up. And it really is. It's one of the best sandwiches you'll ever eat. It's amazing. We also do crispy bacon bites, which we started last year, which have become a huge hit. And it's like bacon crack. It's like these crispy pieces of bacon that have our
crack. You heard it here first.
yeah, they have our rub on it, and I have this company that makes this special maple sugar for us that we put on there, and then we drizzle it with a little black peppered apple cider syrup.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your menu here? You got a ton of items and all
Yeah.
of your plates. You looks like
Yeah,
you
I'll get a little
got
closer.
some big plates here.
Yep. So you can do everything from like a mini sandwich, which is like a 4-pound sandwich, to a dinner for 4 or a platter for 10 people. And so they're all different combinations of the meats and sides that we have here. And then we have our snacks, which are just little things that, if we weren't counter service, they'd be appetizers someplace else. So it's you kind of order all at once and try to plan your meal. But we also have people that come in and order, and just keep coming back. So they'll order a little bit at a time and then come back and order more and come back and order more and do their meal that way, so that everything's coming out hot instead of sitting it all at once.
So they stick around for a while.
They stick around for a while at times.
Nice.
Yep.
And
Yep.
a lot of people are commenting like, oh, this is nothing. This is quiet for BT.
Yeah.
So on those peak days, is it pretty hard to maneuver through this place?
Yeah, so usually there's a line of people from here down this brisket bar, around the brisket bar, and then out this side door. And so walking back and through this space here to get to the sodas or the silverware can sometimes be a challenge.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of cool artwork on the wall. Was that
Yep.
something that was created by a local artist or something?
Yep, so these were done recently by Dean Keever. He does a lot of the cans for a lot of the local breweries also. And so because we're BYOB and we have that beer culture here, we asked him and he did all of these for us.
I like that. That's
Yeah, so you guys are BYOB, so you get to focus on the meat because you don't have to worry about getting a big beer menu and keeping that fresh.
Yeah, so for us, it's, for me, I made that decision a long time ago where I just want to focus on food. We're also next to Yankee Sturbridge, which is right down the street. And then all these little breweries started popping up after we opened, or right around the same time. And so people get to bring in whatever they want to drink. And so we get to see some really cool beers that come through here.
You said people even do beer trades in their parking
Yeah,
lots.
we've become a big stop for beer trading.
That's great.
Yeah, and you can see some of the cans that people bring in. So most of these are from Treehouse, because we seem to get more of our customers coming straight from Treehouse, because you can't always drink at Treehouse, but you can bring your cans here and drink them here. And so for people that are traveling a distance to go get their beer, they can come here, crack one open, have some barbecue, and then be on their way.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. So there's that. I was going to say, if you wanted to come back and see the smokers in the back kitchen, we'll show you that too.
These are all the beer cans we got collected at the top.
So this here is one of our boiler pits, and this is Betty, and this one over here is Belle. Betty originally came out of KC Masterpiece in Kansas City. The building was torn down, and this was still sitting inside, and I bought it as a salvage piece. And the motors all worked and everything, and so we rebuilt the front of her.
This is Betty, you said?
This is Betty.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh my.
She's a little bit empty right now. We just took most of today's meat out of her, but
No problem. Look at that.
those are our beef ribs.
A revolving door.
Yeah. But like I said, she holds 18.
Conveyor belt, what do you call that?
Rotisserie.
Rotisserie.
Yep. So she'll hold 1,800 pounds of meat. And then
That's pretty. 1,800 pounds of meat.
1,800 pounds. Yep. And then so this is Black Betty, and then Belle is our newer smoker. We got her last year, and she came in so pretty. I called her. She's Belle, like Beauty and the Beast. She was so pretty that we decided to call her Belle.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, we can see inside there. That'd be great.
So these are the rest of the briskets that are finishing up from last night's cook. You can kind of see the fire in the back there.
You say you smoke your brisket for 24 hours, correct?
Yep, 24 to 26 hours.
That's a long time.
Yeah. So like that beast there, that'll probably go closer to 30 hours.
30 hours for that one?
Yeah.
That's a lot of judgment and patience in barbecue.
Yep.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So and these guys here get a little bit frustrated with me every once in a while. I see them pulling something out, and I look across the room and I can tell that it's not done yet. And they're like, well, it's, we cooked for this long, and it's not really done till it's done. And so I've never taken the temperature of any of our meat. It's all done by feel and look and taste.
What do you look for when you know
So
it's ready?
I can show you on a couple of these. So this one here, see how puffy this is right now? It needs to relax a little bit more than that, and so it's still a little bit rubbery, and the fat cap hasn't completely rendered down yet to where I want it to be.
So that one stays.
Yep. Let me get a good one here. I think this one over here looks like it's about done. That's how I know what I'm looking for.
Are these finished briskets behind us?
Yep, these are finished briskets.
So look at their finished briskets here in the back. What kind of a rub or salt spices do you use?
Yeah, so my brisket rub has 13 different things in it. Salt, pepper, cayenne pepper, paprika, and a bunch of other things.
Secret.
Yeah, secret.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't want to reveal those.
No.
No worries.
And I started out with just this rub. I've changed it twice in the first year and a half that I started using it. Just modified it a little bit. But I used to use this rub on everything. And then after like testing and trying some other things, I came up with a pork rub that we call pork your chicken. And then we have a rib rub. And then we have a fry rub now also that we use for our fries.
All right. Thanks for showing us that.
Yeah, no
I like
problem.
meeting Belle and Betsy.
Yeah.
Did you be able to prepare us some plates for the try out?
Alright, so we just got a behind the scenes look here at B.T.s. We're going to head outside and try a plate. Alright. See all that traffic going by. Alright, thanks for bringing that up for us.
Looks good.
Oh, this is your meal. I thought this was...
Ah, you can have
No,
some.
tell us what you ordered. What did you order?
That's
That's
the
the
local
brisket?
burger
Let's see. So they got a burger here. That's pretty
with
good.
brisket in it, pickled onion, and onion rings.
What did you get?
That's the brisket.
That looks really good. How long have you guys been coming here? This is your first time?
First time.
First timers.
Yes.
All right, you'll have to let us know because we're judging it for the best of mass barbecue right now.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Yeah,
All
so-
right.
Quebec, Vermont.
All right, it's all over the place.
That's what we do to enjoy that.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah. All right, so we're just waiting on them to bring us out a plate. We'll have some brisket, ribs.
Yeah, why don't you
pulled
sit
pork
down,
to try
Alex?
out, So, sure.
Tell us a bit of your takeaways from.
Yeah, well, I mean, first off, it's really impressive, this place. You know, I've heard a lot about it for a long time now, being from Western Massachusetts, and here in Sturbridge, you know, the word of mouth came all the way to Springfield area, hearing about them a lot, and just to come here and see it, you know, I thought of this place as I knew it back then as a small kind of shack. I had never really gotten the chance to come out, but coming out here now and seeing how much they've grown, and just the fact that, you know, we went in the kitchen and saw these huge, literally rotisseries of smokers that smoke thousands of pounds of meat at a time. It was really cool, something we haven't seen in the contest yet.
Yeah,
And,
1,800 pounds of meat at a time in
yeah,
that
and
Betsy
so
smoker.
he had, you know, a few briskets in there right now, but I mean, those things can just crank out all this meat, and you know, they need it, as you can see with how busy they are with their huge customer base. It's really impressive, and it shows, you know, because they have people in and out of here since we've been here, but as he said, the lines will go around that counter inside and out the door, and people, they stick around, they wait in these long lines and come out and wait to eat the food, and he makes sure they all get fed. So it's really cool. I think, you know, it's a great thing, him in this area with this following, and as you said, it's not only the locals that come back, he has people from all over the place because of the convenience of the location off the highway, and, you know, in a central location where he has people coming from Vermont and people from all over the United States and otherwise, really. So
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting how he started in just a trailer, and then it grew from his background in fine dining into this kind of local. You walk up, you order it, you get this great food though, so you're not missing on the taste and the flavor. And I don't think that necessarily a tablecloth on a table means it's going to be great food.
yeah, and I mean,
So-
it's great because, you know, he has that philosophy, but as he said, he has experience with fine dining. You know, he knows the finer parts of this food and how to put it together. And, you know, he caters to this audience where it's a really laid-back atmosphere, and it doesn't have to be, you know, the stuffy $200 meal plates, you know, at these fancy restaurants. He comes in, this is a down-home, Southern style barbecue where you're eating outside and you get all this smoked meat, and you could get, you know, the cheaper menu items, or you can get a $40-50 plate of, you know, full of this great barbecue that he has to offer. And as he did show before, that with that trailer is how he started, and he said, at the Brimfield Antique Show, just bringing a small trailer there and catering to all these thousands of customers, the people that come through there to check out the antique show, and, you know, he got a huge following just from doing that and really grew from there. So that's really cool. Behind us is his trailer, he said, that they use for catering.
Let's go check it out.
They do a ton of catering as well. So yeah, while we're waiting for the food, we could go check that out.
So we'll walk around. We're right on the side of the road right here. So you can hear the cars going by. It's a really busy afternoon here at B.T.s, as is every afternoon here, so we're learning. So there's the temperature gauge right here.
I don't want to speak too much of these smokers because I'm sure you can do a lot better job explaining it than I can, but these things are no joke either. This is more along the lines of some of the other barbecue places we've been to that haven't been the in-house smokers that have had it outside.
So we got that Southern style barbecue in New England.
And so, I mean, this setup for catering is no joke either. But I see the
food is ready.
Out, so yeah,
Thank you guys. All right, will you tell us what we got here? Oh wow.
So we've got our brisket, St. Louis ribs, pulled pork.
That looks delicious. Brisket, St. Louis rib. What type? Which piece or part of the brisket is that?
So this is we use a whole brisket, so we use the whole thing. So this part here is the lean or the flat.
Got
and
it.
then this is the point or the moist brisket up top. It's separated by this layer of fat in the middle.
Absolutely
and then
delicious.
When it looks like this, we leave it alone because you want that in there. It's just loving your mouth.
All right.
And then here we have a selection of our sauces. Like I said, we make our own ketchup. Our house barbecue sauce, which is a tomato vinegar sauce. Piedmont, which is a little bit sweet, spicy vinegar. Our sweet barbecue, which is a little bit thicker version of our house, a little bit sweeter. A mustard barbecue, which we use a whole grain mustard for, and beer in it. And then meat heat, which is a habanero hot sauce.
Meat heat. All right. Then a host of sides.
A whole bunch of different sides, a little bit of everything that we have. So we've got grits, collard greens, our slaw, a carrot slaw, cucumber salad, dirty rice, black-eyed peas, potato salad, and then we do a barbecue bean. It's a black bean that we make instead of doing traditional Boston baked beans, and then our cornbread.
All right. Those look delicious. Thanks so much for bringing these out here. All right. I'm going to get Alex first takes while it's hot. So why don't you tell us how it is? Trying that brisket right there.
falling
with their
apart on my
famous-
fork. It's so moist. Look at that. All right, so you see there's a great bark on it, great pink smoke ring. That's a mean piece of brisket right there.
You read it on his face.
And
Sorry,
tell
like
us
the video.
a little bit more about the rub on there. And
Yeah, so this rub, again, it started out as the only rub that I did. It's got a bunch of things in there that bring out like really deep flavors in it that you normally wouldn't see in a barbecue rub. That's stuff that you'd more see in a barbecue sauce, and I found a way to put them into my rub and still keep it dry.
that's great.
Yeah, it looks delicious.
And you have the good smokiness. It's not too much. You know, you look at that huge smoker with all that smoke
Yep.
coming in. You think that, you know, and that char on the top, and it looks so dark, and, you know, you think it might have this like really smoked out flavor. I mean, it's perfect where it's just enough smoke to complement the flavor of the meat in there. And it comes out really well. I love that.
And this is the first 24-hour brisket we've tried.
Yeah.
So each of the briskets kind of cut off around 9 to 12 hours
Yeah.
on our search so far. So it's kind of cool to see the amount of time and commitment you put into each brisket. And as you were saying back in the kitchen, like, you're pretty picky about what you choose and when. So that judgment, it shows like a really high quality of the meat and like your judgment as a pit master.
Right. It's, you know, and it really does. It starts with the meat that we use, and so I looked at about 15 different brands of brisket before I chose the one that I chose, and we only get that brand of brisket, and we're going through about 2,000 to 3,000 pounds of it a week.
2,000 to 3,000 pounds of brisket a week.
Yeah.
And that's just the brisket.
Just
so
the brisket. We do about 9,000 pounds of meat a week.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, between chicken.
It's pretty hard to comprehend.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So as you can see, you guys serve all the meat by itself without any sauces.
Without any sauces.
Yeah, let's
So you
take
can get a good
close-up
taste of
the
it
ribs.
before you put the sauce on. Yeah, look at that.
All of our commenters are going crazy for this brisket.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And the idea with a good rib, you know, a real barbecue rib shouldn't be fall off the bone like we tap it and all the meat just falls off.
Right.
But you should be able to bite into it, and it has a little bit of a pull, but it leaves the bone clean when you break away from it, and so it doesn't leave a whole lot of stuff on the bone. And so just like that, where you know the membrane around the bone comes right off with it.
Yeah, I think there's that perception that fall off the bone is what you want, but what you want is to have that nice little bit chew.
Right. You don't want
before bite it.
just mush in your mouth.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, these are
What do you think
perfectly
about that
cooked.
rib?
It's amazing. I love ribs, and this rib, it makes the cut definitely. I love how you can see like the pullback of the meat on the bone, how it's perfectly cooked, just plump. You know, it's not dry or anything. You can still see the juices
It's
coming
very
out of
juicy.
it, and you got the nice smoke ring on the rib too there, and just that perfect glaze from the rub on there, and it's a little bit sweet, a little bit spicy, but yeah, perfect complement.
And of
to the
course,
meat
you want to
there.
use your sauces as a condiment. That's not something
Right,
that
yeah.
the
So
pitmaster's going to throw on there.
Yeah, so our sauces are really used to complement our meat, not to drown them and to enhance the flavor. It's really there to complement it. So you can eat it just as it is. Most of us do. Every once in a while we put sauce on our meat if we're working here, but
Yeah.
it's, we all like the meat just the way it is.
I think great barbecue is really about the balance between the meal, so the elements of the sides. What would you say about for the sides, how important are they in balancing the meal, and what do you kind of like to add there?
So for me, from my background with fine dining and stuff, and we have something here that I brought out special for you.
Oh my gosh.
So this is our brisket Reuben, and,
Oh my
and this
God.
really is it's the best sandwich you'll ever eat.
That's
It's,
the coolest sandwich.
it's
I need a photo of that.
Yeah.
That looks delicious. So that's the best photo, or best sandwich here?
yeah. And so this sandwich was actually ranked number 7 barbecue sandwich in the country.
Wow.
By a gentleman, Johnny Fugit, that did a book about the top 100 barbecue joints in the country. He ranked us number 20 and the sandwich number 7 in the country.
Number 7 sandwich in the country. Let's get a look at that.
So yeah, can you tell us a little bit more about the ingredients?
Yeah, so this has our house coleslaw in it, a pickled rye sauce, which is my version of Thousand Island dressing. It's on a brown bread, and
The
then
pumpernickel?
nope, it's
brown
like
bread?
it's a honey wheat brown bread.
Nice.
And then Swiss cheese. And so we melt that cheese and then put the brisket and stuff on there.
That is something else.
So it's your take on a Reuben,
It's
which
mine.
of course has massive hunks of meat on it, which
Yeah.
is great. I love it.
Yep.
I'm gonna
Should I
have to
take a
get-
bite of that on
Yeah.
camera? You want to grab?
Yeah,
I think
let's
I'm
go,
going to
Kit.
volunteer for that.
Let's go, Kit. I want to
All
see
right.
you.
'Cause I've been watching him eat all the ribs in front of me.
All right, Kit's gonna just
All
chow
right.
down on this thing.
All right, ready? Number 7 sandwich in the country. I'm blessed with this afternoon. Thank you.
You got it.
Oh my God.
How was it, Kit?
That's excellent. You see, you've got to get your hands dirty on the Best of Mass Barbecue search. I've got sauce all over my face. The sandwich is practically melting in my hands.
Yeah.
The bread, it tastes so delicious because all of the sauce is soaking up in the bread. And I've got fresh brisket. It's still really hot, fresh, juicy. And of course they have that coleslaw in there. So
Yes.
you think I could pass this as being healthy because the coleslaw's in there?
Yeah, it's got vegetables.
I think
right?
so. I think I'm eating a salad because it's a coleslaw,
Yeah,
right?
meat salad.
Thank you for the napkin.
There you go.
Oh my goodness.
I gotta go pick my kids up off the bus.
No
Okay.
worries. All right,
Oh, yeah,
so
we're
he's
gonna wrap
gonna
up
roll.
here.
I gotta go.
So thank you so much, Brian. We appreciate it.
Yes.
And we are going to enjoy
gonna
the
dig
rest
in.
of this meat. Yeah, dig in and really get into it. So thank you so much for coming.
No problem. Thank you.
And yeah, so we're going to wrap up here. This is Alex Parnicky and Kit Maher at B.T.s Smokehouse in Sturbridge with Brian, the pitmaster and owner.
Yeah.
And it's been awesome. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you later.